Hello, I am that witch Tasha and welcome to the channel. Welcome to my archetype video. I wanted to talk, I guess, a little bit about archetypes, obviously, what they are and where I see them. So I like to look at pop culture, but you can look at the mythology, you can look at society, I mean, pretty much anything at all. Once you kind of know some of the common archetypes, you'll be able to recognize them. I like to use different archetypes sometimes to decorate my altar if I'm looking for a theme, or if I, like for example, if I wanted to make an altar to rebellious spirit and being a little bad and embracing your inner devil or something, I would have maybe images of James Dean or Anthony Bourdain. Just people that you would kind of think of as a rebel, someone who is a little bit of a bad boy or girl, Rihanna. There's all kinds of people, right, that you can think of. So that's kind of where I use archetypes in my practice. Or if I want to exude a certain archetype, maybe I will find someone from culture or pop culture, sorry, to represent that on the altar. In my depression video, I had Sailor Moon and Sailor Mars on there, and you'll see a little later in the video how they're different archetypes that I see. So that's kind of how I incorporate them. And here are the ones that I kind of look at. There's all kinds. I don't know a lot about it, to be honest. You're learning with me. This is something I've always known about the different archetypes, but to actually look into where they come from and the history of them, that's something that I'm doing now. I've noticed that in my 30s, a big part of my practice has been finding out the information behind it. A lot of times in my earlier years, things were just kind of more surface level. I would take it at surface level, and now I'm asking more questions, the hows and whys. And I guess that's how my path's evolving. So anyway, these are some of like the major archetypes. So there's the regular person, who I kind of just see as myself. Like, you know, the regular person, the regular guy. Who else would be like a regular person when we think about celebrities? Like, who just acts like a normal guy? Like Tom Hanks, he's like America's dad. Or like, even, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like just a regular dude, just a regular guy. Then there's the sage, and I have Sailor Mercury, Obi-Wan, Father Merrin, rest in peace. Max von Sydow just passed away recently. He was the old man priest in The Exorcist. Hermione. So say you want to evoke some sage wisdom, you could use those images to bring that in, or whatever works for you. There's the innocent. So Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, Snow White. I have Taylor Swift here because I feel like she's always trying to depict herself as still like innocent in all of her scandals. No hate, no hate. I love me some Taylor Swift too sometimes. No hate. Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. Reagan, because she was innocent before she got possessed, right? Buddy the Elf. And Sailor Moon. I have Sailor Moon here twice because I can see her as kind of that innocent, sweet character. The innocent is someone who is just pure and sweet, and they don't really know. They're a little naive. The ruler. So that could be like Mr. Burns, Beyonce, Charles Manson, Dumbledore. There's the Explorer, Mulan, James and the Giant Peach. So all kinds, like Arya from Game of Thrones. That's that character that wants to explore the world. And the ruler, of course, well, that's someone that's the ruler. Then there's creator. So like Willy Wonka, Machine Gun Kelly, Jigsaw, Dr. Jekyll, Sailor Venus, Nyx, Mary. So that's the being or the person that creates, someone who's creative, someone who has many talents and can do many things. Then there's the caregiver, like Mary Poppins, Sailor Jupiter, Chris McNeil from The Exorcist, Angelina Jolie, Anubis. So the people who care, the caregivers of the world, people that take care of others, the nurturers. The magician, the people who create change. They create change in their world. Anton LaVey, Sherlock Holmes, Aleister Crowley, Damien Eccles. Hero, obviously the hero, you know, we got Xena, Hercules, Liam Neeson, the final girl in the horror movie, Sailor Mars, Harry Potter, you know, the hero. Who is the hero? We want to invoke some more hero energy. Maybe you want to get over a really dark time in your life. Maybe you could use an image of Harry Potter to kind of inspire getting through really dark times and rising above. Outlaw, so that's kind of the badass. The rebel, Father Karras from The Exorcist. You see a theme here? Marilyn Manson, Anthony Bourdain, Ferris Bueller, Draco, James Dean, you know, the bad boy, the bad guy. The lover. So I have Sailor Moon here again because, of course, obviously Sailor Moon, like, she's all about love. She's falling in love. She's romantic. Romeo and Juliet. Michael Myers from Halloween because he loves his sister so much. To obsession. Michael Bublé. Frank Sinatra. I have Candyman here too because Tony Todd to me, that man. Whoa, hello. The lover. People who kind of embrace love or make you feel love or use love to promote themselves. The jester. Chris Farley, Seth Rogen, Mike Myers, Timon and Pumbaa, Ron Weasley, Fred and George Weasley, the jester, the fun person, the funny person. So that's a couple of archetypes. And then I thought, let's put those into the Sabbats, the 8 Sabbats, the Wheel of the Year, and how we can use those archetypes and images to decorate our altars, to get in focus, to connect with the time of year. And these, of course, are only my interpretations. You could have completely different interpretations of these archetypes and Sabbats, and that's totally fine. That's the cool thing with archetypes, really, right? It's all just about connection and figuring it out for yourself and what makes sense to you. So Samhain, it's the new year. So I have the sage because it's a time of wisdom and teaching and seeking information. So the sage, so we could go back, you could use, you know, Sailor Mercury, for example, to represent the sage or wisdom. Yule, creator. So that's the one I chose because goddess is giving birth to the sun. So goddess as mother. I think that using mother images, for me, that would be Mary. Having images of Mary on my altar would really connect me with that connector archetype. Imbolc, the caregiver. Bridget as healer. Healing wells, healing, mental health. So that's kind of what I've got for the caregiver and themes that I often associate with Imbolc. And, you know, you could use Bridget as that caregiver archetype. Ostara, which is coming up, as you can tell behind me. The jester, because Ostara is a time of fun, right? Think about when you were a kid, looking for eggs, getting chocolate, excited for the Easter bunny, if you were fortunate enough. That's all Easter, like Ostara time, you know? So the jester, so it could be about fun, childlike, excitement, watch a comedy if you wanted to, or have an image of Chris Farley on your altar, or someone who makes you laugh, makes you feel happy. Beltane, the lover, it's a time of sex magic. Goddess and god are joined together and nature's blossoming. So those lover imageries, Romeo and Juliet, would be a really cool way to depict the goddess and god. If you maybe you're in the broom closet and you can't have an altar, you can't have an open depiction of the goddess and god. That's actually brings me to a good point with archetypes, is that you can use archetypes in pop culture to represent things in your witchcraft, which would very easily just look like you're a fan of something. If you had a couple of the Sailor Scouts out on an altar, I mean, to you, it could be earth, air, fire, water, goddess and god, whatever. But to someone looking, they could just think that you love Sailor Moon. So this is another really, really good way that you can use archetypes to your benefit. Midsummer, I have the outlaw because it's hot and, you know, maybe you want to be a little more rebellious because it's summertime. You're staying out late. So you can invoke your inner outlaw, your inner bad boy or bad girl, your inner Rihanna. Llamas, the explorer. It's new phases and slowing down. So the explorer archetype, you could think about how the god is about to explore the underworld, or how corn can be the archetype of exploring, because the seed blows. Like you just can go down a rabbit hole of different ideas, like boom, boom, boom. Mabon, the magician, because the earth is changing. The earth is going through these drastic changes where the leaves are changing, it's getting cold. So to me, that would be the magician, the time of transformation. So yeah, those are just a couple ideas to get you thinking. Something to consider, maybe a new way to look at decorating or celebrating or using images to get your mind in the right place. I appreciate you so much for coming over. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go enjoy it, and I hope that you have an amazing, magical day too. Bye.